Boxers don't do this. This is why Canelo's not fighting Benavidez. Why would Canelo fight Benavidez, who's relatively unknown, and Benavidez beats him, and Benavidez becomes overnight a superstar? That's Canelo's letting Benavidez make a name off of him.
So you're saying that you're going to make...
If it was up to me, like we keep on saying, we want to see Benavidez. Canelo, a hell of a fighter. But my personal opinion, he's ducking Benavidez. You know, that's just my personal opinion. And I'm allowed to speak my mind. That's just what it is. We want to see Benavidez.
David Benavidez isn't holding back when it comes to sharing information after Canelo Alvarez lost to Terence Crawford. The undefeated super bantamweight champion is asserting that Canelo Alvarez lacks the courage to confront him.
Can you not give us Canelo Benavidez? Why? Canelo, why? I do not understand it. You're demanding $200 million? Like, come on, dude. Basically, Canelo doesn't want to give us the good fights. Imagine if Canelo and Benavidez gets made. That's the Super Bowl of boxing. Boxing is on the rise. Canelo, don't screw it up for us. I thought I would never say this, but Canelo's scared. Literally, I thought I would, as a fighter, I know fighters are not scared. But wow, we've been begging Canelo, please, Canelo, please.
David Benavidez had asked Saul Canelo Alvarez to fight him, but Alvarez turned him down because he didn't like his style and was only interested in the millions of dollars that would be paid to him. Ronnie Shields, an experienced trainer, boldly said before the Canelo-Crawford fight that Terence Crawford would win. And he still does. Shields said after the fight that he had always thought Crawford would be too strong for Canelo because of how mobile he was and how easily he could switch from an orthodox to a southpaw stance. He backed up this claim by saying that Bud's ability to change stances, attack or retreat, and control distance showed Canelo's small defense weaknesses and gave him chances to act.
By unanimous decision, we got that. I just thought Crawford was too fast for Canelo. Too many combinations. Canelo doesn't jab anymore. He looks for one shot now. You know, I mean, the end is there for Canelo. And I just think that Crawford was too fast for him, you know, especially in the southpaw position. We all know Canelo have problems with the southpaw. So, you know, and that's why I picked Crawford. I just thought Crawford could be too fast.
Ronnie Shields, who used to train professional boxers, praised Terence Crawford for being able to stick to a nearly perfect game plan, stay calm, time his attacks, and punish Canelo for making mistakes. Shields claimed that it was an outstanding demonstration of tactical execution and ring intelligence, as he had predicted before the bout. Shields even told Canelo that he should think about quitting after the fight because he had been through so many tough fights. On the other hand, Oscar de la Hoya gave a different perspective. He stressed that Canelo had to make the decision. If Canelo feels like he's had enough, he should quit. But he needs to be careful when picking his opponents. Da Hoya expressed his belief that Crawford was unique, noting his proficiency in identifying styles and counterpunching. The meeting was too much for him, and he went back to his relaxed state of mind. Further, De La Hoya said that it served as a reminder of why Crawford is considered one of the most versatile and knowledgeable boxers.
Crawford is older than Canelo, so we can't use the excuse that he's older, right? We can't use the excuse that, oh, well, you know, he moved around too much. Well, it's your job to figure him out, right? Just like Chavez would figure out a fighter, just like I would figure out a fighter, just like any real great fighter can figure styles out. That's your job. I think Crawford did a tremendous job. Kudos to him. Sky's the limit for Crawford, and I really don't know where Canelo goes.
Former professional fighter and promoter Oscar de la Hoya, who is of Mexican descent, kept talking about Canelo's behavior after his historic win. He also looked into Terence Crawford's trip. Crawford's belief is clear in what Da Hoya said, and this faith will help him reach new heights. De La Hoya said that Crawford seems completely at ease at super middleweight and that there is no strong reason for him to move back down to 154. Still, if a highly expected fight comes up, he might change his mind about going back to 160 pounds. Oscar believes that the most intriguing fight at the moment is against the rising Virgil Ortiz. He thinks the fight will be exciting, full of action, and intriguing enough to match Crawford's present status.
and Crawford at 160. Imagine that. Would be incredible. So there's a good possibility that Crawford will stay at 168. Most likely go down to 160. I don't think he's going to touch 154. I think he'll stay at 160 eventually and try to find the biggest fights possible. And the biggest fight for him would be a Virgil.
Rolly Romero praised Terence Bud Crawford's work in the September 13th main event fight with Canelo Alvarez. Romero said that you need to have a certain trait to beat Canelo, which Crawford showed by winning. He said that the first few rounds were very competitive, with Canelo making progress and keeping the fight close. According to Romero, Crawford slowly took over the fight by setting the pace, scoring better blows, and winning round after round. Bud is now thought to be one of the best boxers of all time because he was able to adapt quickly enough to beat a top opponent, according to Romero. He said it was an amazing task that is almost impossible to do.
Made me, that performance did something really special for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot more special than what probably anyone else is probably thinking, honestly. I didn't expect Crawford to be that big.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't expect Crawford to be that big, but Canelo did good the first few rounds, you know, first like all the way up like to round 4, and then that's when Crawford took over, you know. So I mean, the second half of the fight though, it was all Crawford. There was no question about it.
Like Canelo, Crawford doesn't want to fight David Benavidez. It was the American fighter who beat the Mexican one. Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford both feel nervous about their fights with David Benavidez. When the American boxer beat his Mexican opponent, Canelo Alvarez, and took his belts, he was successful. David Benavidez sends Canelo Alvarez his requests for the organization of Mexico's ultimate boxing match after losing to Terence Crawford. A former world champion has told Canelo Alvarez to stop fighting. Terence Crawford is scared to fight David Benavidez. He feels the same way that Saul Canelo Alvarez does. The American fighter was successful when he beat Canelo Alvarez of Mexico and stole his titles from a number of well-known Instagram accounts. There is a lot of substance in Terence Crawford versus Benavidez. Despite this, I'm not denying that I will get into a fight with him. The only reason I fought Canelo was because he wasn't big enough. Benavidez is about 1.80 meters tall. Besides that, his weight will change from 88 kilograms to 90 kilograms. Den Rafael, a boxing reporter, agreed with Rolly Romero that the fight between Canelo and Crawford had a fierce and exciting back and forth in the first rounds. But, as Rafael pointed out, Crawford not only studied for the fight in a planned way, but he also carried out the plan perfectly, easily beating the bigger and more experienced Canelo. Rafael told Crawford that his long game and ability to think things through were outstanding. He also told the crowd about all the worries Bud had before the fight, saying that Canelo's size, strength, and experience fighting for titles were huge benefits. Because he paid attention, was disciplined, and worked hard at training, Rafael's dare turned into a reasonable outcome and even a win. Crawford became one of the most complete and determined boxing champions as a result of these circumstances.
Thought he did a great job. I thought it was close. I had Canelo ahead in the early going, but I thought Crawford did an amazing job closing that fight down in the last few rounds, where he really started to back the supposed bigger guy up, although for me, they looked about the same size. But that was a brilliant performance, and what can you say? I mean, you got to give him his credit. He created a lot of history. He dreamt this fight. He willed it to happen. A lot of people, not me, but a lot of people laughed at him and said, forget about it, no chance against a bigger guy like that. But he showed.
Den Rafael then said that a repeat between Canelo and Crawford would definitely get a lot of attention. But it is not the best or smartest thing for either fighter to do right now. He told them to consider other high-stakes career options. Rafael told Canelo that he should carefully think about the pros and cons of the fight before choosing who to fight next, if anyone at all. In terms of making money, Rafael said that Bud's historic win has made him so famous that now every other top prospect will be challenging him. Still, Rafael didn't give up. Crawford needs to carefully think about all of their possible choices in light of the split they will be in. The magnitude of the event and the potential titles at stake in the upcoming fight are crucial considerations.
The winner of Eubank and Ben, the Hamza Shiraz, I mean, those types of names. He's got mandatories and ability, got the draw tonight in a great fight. There's other fighters that have belts and interim belts and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, nobody's going to rush Terrence Crawford into his next fight. He'll take his time, and, you know, whatever the next fight is, it's going to be a big one because, you know, his name is even greater now than what happened going into this fight for him. So he beats Canelo Alvarez, you know, it becomes a much bigger.
Before the fight on September 13th, Lois Schofield was sure that Canelo Alvarez would win. She was shocked by how well Terrence Crawford did. Schofield said that he thought Canelo would put on a legendary show, but the Mexican fighter disappointed him totally. For the first time, Schofield said that he was worried about Canelo's plans to quit. He said that Crawford beat Canelo in every way, including speed, timing, and obvious ring dominance when he talked about the fight. Crawford got out to a big lead and a straightforward victory. He did say that he wanted Canelo to keep working and get better so that he could make a successful comeback and be recognized as the champion he used to be.
I was hurt, I ain't gonna lie, because I've been a fan of Canelo since I was a kid, so my heart, a tear almost came on my I ain't gonna lie, because it felt like, you know, that Canelo's done. But I just think he was a little off that night. I think he can, you know, make a big comeback. But to Crawford, man, he's the greatest of this era. You gotta give it to him. Greatest of this era. Nobody's ever done that before. 3-time undisputed. So you gotta take your hats off to Crawford. And I was just shocked that he was able to just dismantle Canelo like that. You know, even with the size difference. That just goes to show.
In his career, Canelo Alvarez fought the best foreign pay-per-view stars and won for world championships. His record sets the standard for a modern boxing great. Because he has shown that he can react to almost any method, he can also use deadly counterpunches. From his early success as a kid in Mexico to his big wins over boxing legends like Miguel Cotto and Sergio Kovalev, he has become a worldwide star and one of the most recognizable fighters in the sport. Shane Mosley and the next winner crossed the squared circle with a young Canelo because of how consistent he was in the top divisions. He talked about the fight as happening with a fighter who had more experience than him. Mosley talked a lot about Canelo's natural strength, timing, and patience. He saw Mosley as a potential pound-for-pound champion at the time. Even so, the calmness of a seasoned fighter marked Canelo's rise from a newcomer to one of the best boxing winners.
Young kid, I think he was 21, 22 years old. He had a lot of experience, I should say. He had a lot of boxing experience at his age.
40, 50 fights?
Huh?
He had 40 or 50 fights at that point, right?
40, 50 fights, but not just that. I'm talking about experience as far as knowledge about being the real, like, experience. You know, like veteran experience. Like he knew how to counter, he knew how to block and counter, do different things. So it wasn't like he was just an ordinary fighter. And I was like, and fighting him, I'm like, wow. He actually knows how to, like, you know, get away from stuff. He knows how to counter. He knows how to, like, you know, trick shots up, and he knows how to do.
To closely matched fights with Gennady Golovkin, which were two of Canelo's most impressive accomplishments, also showed how durable he was and what kind of champion he was. After beating Caleb Plant and unifying all for primary belts, which are the WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO titles, he became the first undisputed super middleweight king. Canelo has won belts and fought in dangerous fights, many times in different weight classes. He has never moved away from high-stakes situations. Because he is always in conflict, his work is a wonderful example of competence and endurance. It combines the toughness that makes Mexican boxing outstanding with great precise skill. He is now known as one of the best fighters of his time because of these achievements. Crawford showed Canelo how much respect he has gained in the boxing world by giving him back the belts after his win. People know David Benavidez as a tough opponent for super middleweights, and his win over Anthony Darrell in 2019 was a turning point in his career. After knocking out the more experienced champion in the 9th round to win back the WBC title, Benavidez spoke with the calm confidence of a warrior who knew he belonged at the top of the world upon winning the fight to regain the belt at the age of 22. Benavidez expressed that it felt like a realization of his dreams and emphasized the significance of the title to him. Benavidez said that Darrell's constant pressure and successful combo punches had worn him down, tightened his grip, and made the fight more exciting with each round. He said that winning showed how disciplined and grown he was. At 168, he was a dangerous opponent because he was young, strong, sharp, and disciplined.
Words can't explain how good I feel. I said I was gonna get in here. I was gonna win the belt again. Like I said, it was a hard fight. You know, my Darrell was trying to catch me all night. He was trying to counter me when I would step in. But you know, we were willing to take the chances, and he didn't catch me at all. It was a hard fight, but you know, my dreams come true. You know, second time fighting on pay-per-view. All my people out there came out to support. So man, it's an amazing feeling. I just can't wait to get back in there again and defend my.
After the amazing fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, everyone in the boxing world is talking about what might happen next. Boxing fans are excitedly talking about what they think will happen in the future. Some fans and experts want the fight to happen again, while others think Canelo and Crawford should look for other fights. After the fight, Benavidez scolded Canelo in public, studying the subject of youth versus an old story is appealing and enjoyable to many people, he said. Many people have told Canelo that he should think about retiring so that his reputation can live on after an amazing career. Crawford's success only makes his future plans more likely to come true. Would you like him to focus on helping rising star Virgil Ortiz become a middleweight or super middleweight champion by going after one of the season's winners, or on taking on another monster pound-for-pound challenge? What do you think? Should Canelo stop fighting or take on Benavidez? Also, Bud should talk to who next? Please let us know in the area below for comments.